Andrea DeMille is an international keynote speaker. She's a business owner, host of the podcast show The Wake Up Stories, and was just appointed by Governor Spencer Cox and Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson for Project Gateway, Equity and Opportunity Commission for Utah. She's also been with me on Good Things Utah. She's a mom of 5 boys. This is a busy girl. Welcome back.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
It's good to see you. Good to have you back. Tell us what you've been doing to help create equality for Utah since we last spoke.
Yeah, so since we last spoke, I've really been helping organizations bridge that gap between policy and people, really helping with the unconscious bias with mortgage offices, realtor offices. I did an interview with Intermountain Healthcare recently, so just helping to bridge that gap.
Well, let's talk about this. There was an announcement for North Ogden Charter School recently to remove an opt-out option for Black History Month activities.
Right.
Now, you are a mom of 5 boys.
Yes.
I love looking at pictures of them on your social media. But they also attend charter schools.
They
How
do.
did you react to this?
Yeah, so as the maker of Men, honestly, I was a little disappointed, a lot disappointed and kind of devastated, because 1 in 5 people in the state of Utah identify as a person of color. And so to not teach Black history, which is American history, was devastating. And it was sad to hear that some parents felt like it was a liberal agenda, and that's why they didn't want their kids to be taught Black history. And so when they reversed their option, I felt better about it. I'm glad that they kind of woke up. It's sad that it had to go national in order for them to reverse the option, but Black history is American history. And if they were taught Black history all the time, we wouldn't have to have Black History Month.
Should all parents, every single parent, be teaching Black history at home?
I absolutely believe that all parents should be teaching Black history because, like I said, it's American history. And if we want to bridge that gap between unconscious bias and racism, which is like the new, the R word, it feels almost taboo, like sex. No one wants to talk about it. But wouldn't you want your kids to learn about race and other cultures from home, right? And so for those reasons, you want to be able to teach them about different cultures and our history so that they can be more loving and take control of some of their unconscious bias and really be more inclusive.
Would you say for a lot of people this is an uncomfortable conversation?
Absolutely. It's so uncomfortable, and that's why people don't want to talk about it. I've noticed that after a lot of my trainings, people will say, "Oh, I love everybody, I don't see color," which is great, but you still need to be able to have those super uncomfortable conversations, especially with our kids, if we're going to raise them to be more equitable as adults.
Is that okay to say? Do we not see color, or do we celebrate color?
So I honestly believe you need to see color to understand how other people feel so that we can empathize with what other people go through, right? Because if you don't see me, you don't see the color, you need to see what I experience, what my kids experience. If your daughter and my son walk into the building, they're going to be received very differently because the first things we noticed as adults or as human beings is first our gender and then your color. Everybody sees color, you just don't want to admit it.
It's who you are,
It's
right?
who we are.
Who you are. All right, give 1 or 2 tips or tricks for parents to talk in their homes about this.
Okay, so at home, one of the things that you can do is simply share stories. Share stories of what Black, brown people, Asian people, like you guys mentioned earlier today, what people of color are experiencing in this country. Share those stories and then talk about how when you see someone being treated differently, speak up. If you hear something that sounds a little off the cuff, be the one to speak up and don't be afraid to lean into that uncomfortable conversation.
Andrea has more of these tips and tricks, everybody, on her podcast. It is called The Wake Up Stories.
Yes.
We'll link you to all the information on our website. Go to abc4.com/midday, and you can find more from her there. Thank you so much.
Thank you
being
for
on
having
the
me.
show.